Good morning, my app are back. Here's the plan. A visual treat. A feast of skim coat. That's what a large number of the crew are working on this morning. Okay, it's not necessarily the most sexy thing on a build, I get it, but it's got to be done. They're going to be working on both the inside of the house, and we've got at the moment 3 guys working on the outside. There will of course be other things going on, but really, what else could you want? Guys putting white stuff on a wall. Isn't that enough to keep you engaged for the full however many minutes this video will be? What could possibly go wrong? Right, try and curb your enthusiasm. Keep a grip. Get control. Guys putting white stuff on a wall. We will have, ultimately, a minimum of 2 skim coats applied all around the outside. They will judge after that whether they feel it needs a 3rd. I would have thought for an external wall, a 3rd may be overkill, but I'm not going to interfere if they decide they do want to do that. So 3 guys working here on skim coat, and trust me, there are a number more. Towards the end of yesterday, I was pondering as to why no more tiles were applied, because I thought, well, I was told here was going to be the next area to be done. And apparently it was simply the fact that they had to do more preparation before those tiles could go on. There's no obvious sign to me of what that was, but I gotta take their word for it. But for now, Frederick and Elson are applying these grey tiles down at the base, just by the step that will be here. I think there will still be a step, although it is certainly possible that it won't be that high, but we may end up with a fair bit of that being backfilled. I don't think we want a step that big when we're coming in. We'll see how that progresses much later in the build. Inside the gym and spa, Dell from the, well, originally pool crew, now the hot tub crew, mixing up more tile adhesive. And that tile adhesive is going on the floor of the hot tub. So we are getting that floor tiled in. Already we're an hour and a bit into the day. Quite a big area has been done. And over here, I think it's the very first signs that we're going to get water jets at a higher elevation. Good to see. Inside the bathroom for the gym and spa, Mr. Benet and Coelito back on tiling duty. So quite a big part of this room does now need tiles put back into the lower level, and then they'll have to do the floor. Are you managing to contain yourselves with all this skim coat activity? As an added bonus, Erwin, without an H, without an M, is mixing more up. And that is mostly going to be used in the area I'm going to show you next, in the living room. Both Erwin and Willie are skim coating, either with skim coaterators or with their digits. The builder was here early this morning, making a small delivery, some more tiles, some more LED lights. And he said they've made a little change on this wall in the dining room. Previously, if you watched where we showed the lights, the LED strip lights going into the channel across nearly the top and the channel across or down nearly the left, originally they were going to be mirrors. They're not anymore. He's still playing with a final design, but he thinks there will still be some mirror elements in this wall, just in different places. As a temporary break from skim coating, This wall is where original Rico is going to be skim coating. In fact, he's already started, but he's wandered off for a moment, mixing more material. Papa Jess is wandering around up here, but a moment ago he was putting more LED tube lights into the ceiling here above the stairs. It's not all about skim coating. Well, this bit is. In here at the moment, Ernie's wandered off, but he is skim coating in Alex's bedroom. Well, actually, he was doing a bit more clean up before applying skim coat down here below the TV cabinet. But yes, more skim coat to come in here. This is new. Manny is helping Papa Jess with the first of the external lamp lights that they've got. I don't know if this is upwards, downwards, or both.
Hello.
It's not working with Alexa yet, but this is obviously a fairly modern-ish appearance to this lamp. Very simple, and I think, and the colour actually, by coincidence, will work very nicely here. Well, I wasn't sure they were coming back, but the team from eSummerTech, the aircon installers, are here, and we've got the big boss, Elaine, is with them this morning. So they obviously didn't quite finish off these units yesterday, and we may see them getting to the living room one later on, although right now there does seem to be a lot of activity from the regular crew down there with skim coat. So it may be that downstairs is left alone. We'll see later on today how far they go. It would appear as though Papa Jess has moved on from the lights up above the stairs, and Painter Ernie is back here again for the 211th day in a row dealing with skim coat and paint up in this area. It's been a few seconds for you, but half an hour for me. I've been missing skim coating. Come back to film it all again. It's just after lunch. So we'll go inside and outside and see what the guys have been up to. We'll start here on the south-facing wall, where we've got Sing and Rico and Manny, and a little bit further down, Richard, clinging on to the last little tiny bit of shade on this side of the house, which is down low. We have got 75% of this side of the house, excluding the gym. 75% has got skim coat. So we're going back towards what the final colour of the house will be, which is not exactly defined yet, but we know it'll be a white cream-ish finish. At the front of the house, Frederick and Elson have finished those tiles along the bottom of that first step, and are just starting to make their way up that first column at the moment on two sides. This is the third side of this column about to get a tile, so the order in which they're doing things is to go around all the sides at the bottom and then work their way up one level at a time, it appears. I missed the fact that the two lamps are now in place outside the front door. They are two-directional, they are pointing both up and down. They are using LED light bulbs, just 5 watts, and the box says 455 lumens. Not sure what that really equates to. They're non-dimmable, the bulbs that we've got at the moment, which here we don't need dimmable. Other places that might be a nice feature, but here you just want lights on, lights off, and they do look nice, I think. In the dining room, a couple of things to note. The wooden part of this wall is getting skim coated, well, putty glazed, I think is more accurate. So they're filling in any nooks and crannies there, but also the tiling is done. So that must have been finished at some point this morning. The tiles must have been part of the delivery from the builder when he came in. And it's not just on that wall, but over here. Owen, skim coating this doorway, one of the two doorways. Just outside the dining room, Rico, continuing skim coating here, despite the fact that the cover material is working out, says it's paint, it's not, it is still skim coat. It really is skim coating in spades today. Erwin, who I've not seen doing this before, is skim coating inside the laundry room as well. In the hot tub, the very last tile for the floor has just been cut and is about to go in. And there's definitely been a change here. At the moment, we now have 2 holes for water jets higher up. And there's probably some just down inside here where I can't see, at least not from this angle. Now we can see there are. Now, 4 water jets, not a huge number, but I think that's fine. I think that'll be enough. Inside the bathroom next to the hot tub, Mr. Rene has got quite a few of the tiles in. These lower tiles, there's still a lot to go. And then still the floor, or half the floor anyway. Moen is back in George's room.
Yeah, for the wiring.
There you go, you probably heard that, although this is a directional microphone, but basically just finish up all the connections and the wiring here. It's going to be interesting for me to see how this is all finished off. What are all these currently exposed bits of duct and wire get hidden? I'm looking forward to coming back when this is all in. Outside Jack's room, we've got Papa Jess with his assistant electrician, Raphael, learning another trade, multi-skilled engineer. I imagine that must be to do with lighting outside. Oh, you can't get too much skim coating. Ernie's in the master bedroom, mixing up more. Oh, we're going to show several more clips of people mixing skim coat before the end of the day. Or maybe that's enough. It's 4:30, the bell has gone, the guys are heading out, which means it's time for one of your contributions. Andrew Nicola sent this one. It's not the newest. In fact, I suspect it's from a Christmas cracker circa 1982. But sometimes the old ones are the good ones. What do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea. What do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs? Still, no idea. On the subject of jokes, keep them coming, people, please. I need more. Remember, they have to be something that I can repeat on air. I don't mind necessarily having a go at a certain section, as long as it's balanced, and I can have a go at the same time at the opposite section. So if you're going to send me something about, for example, women, I'm only going to use it if you use another one that's about men and makes us all look equally stupid. I am, after all, an equal opportunities insulter. Right, let's go and see what's been going on. The fiesta, the carnival of skim coat has continued. This side of the house, what are we on? The south side. All of it done. Again, still excluding here at the gym. And what do you mean you've had enough of skim coat? You can never have too much skim coat. Stick with the program. Tiling at the front of the house has continued, and we now have 3 levels of tiles up this column, and it is on all 4 sides. Plus, down at the bottom there, the left-hand side of this incoming step. Oh, look at the rat. That's quite a big one. Oh, let's see if we can get a bit closer. Oh, he's off. Yes, rats. We'll have to deal with those. Yeah, so more tiling here. That put me completely off my stride. Still a long way to go. A lot of columns to cover. The design feature on the side of the stairs. The, quite frankly, rather disappointing design feature at the moment. Hasn't really progressed a lot, has it? It's going to look wonderful. Stick around for a few more days. More skim coating all the way around in the dining room. Okay, no more skim coats. We'll leave that alone for now. Well, for today, actually. I think you've had enough. We did have a visit earlier on today from the guys that are making the little bar that's going to go outside the dirty kitchen, just that shelf extension really. And we've asked them about doing something here in the main kitchen on the island. I've mentioned in previous episodes that this is going to be slightly unusual because it's going to have 2 different services in 2 different areas. You'll have to still be a bit more patient to see what that really means, but there you go. The clue is in the fact that we've got a woodworking team looking to do at least part of this kitchen island countertop. Back at the hot tub, we saw that last tile going in on the floor earlier on. Now we'll take a step back. They have done all the outside wall. So it is just a continuation of the tile that was used on the floor. And as you can see, it's not just the outside wall, but it's the kind of bench seat around the outside at the top as well. And that will be the same all the way around. And it appears as though 4 jets is all we're going to get. I think I'm all right with that. Inside the bathroom for the gym and spa, it really is just too dark to get anything usable out of that. You'll have to take my word for it. All of the wall tiles are now done, or rather redone. Floor tomorrow, I think. In the living room, still no sign of the air conditioner that's going to go in here. This room is really quite problematic because it's not really a room in the sense of being enclosed. There is no door going just here, it'll just be an opening. Then we've got the stairs, and there will be something here, but it's not a complete covering, you'll see. So we're going to have all the cold air from that aircon escaping all over the place, including upstairs. Now, I suppose the good news is that hot air rises, but nevertheless, keeping this room cool with a 2.5 powered, and I'm still trying to figure out, I've had comments about what the power is. I think the supplier called it horsepower. We'll stick with horsepower for now. 2.5 horsepower aircon in here, plus a ceiling fan. Trying to keep this room cool is going to be challenging. But that's all we can do really, without putting a floor standing unit in here, which we have very, very carefully avoided so far. It's going to be difficult, but once we're in, we'll obviously have a much better feel for how that works. Connections for the aircon units, not quite finished here, but the wiring and tubes are beginning to disappear a little bit. Hopefully by the time they're done, because there is no switch just here, hopefully everything disappears into the wall. The building inspector has now turned pool cleaner, which shouldn't be entirely necessary given that Glenn does come in every day. But of course, you know, he's in very, very early, usually before 6, possibly even, I'm not actually up at that time, but I think it might be as early as 5. So during the course of the day, little bugs get in here, and if anybody wants to use it this evening, quick skim doesn't do any harm. There was nothing else really to show you upstairs, apart from I could have shown you a bit more skim coat. But that's it for the day. I think you'll all need to sit down now, or possibly even a lie down, and maybe a stiff drink following that ingestion of skim coat. Who knew it could be so exciting? Well, there'll be more tomorrow. Come back and see it then.